Hello and welcome to day 17. Today I'm going to be giving a reading from a handout a friend of mine gave me. It's very thought-provoking and useful piece of text. It's taken from the big book and phrased in the first person. It's advised we read this out loud to someone each day of the week, so I'm going to read it to you, and then you decide if A, it applies to you, B, you are ready to quit living like this, and C, you are ready to accept living on God's terms. So here we go. The first requirement for step 3 is that I be convinced that my life run on self-will can hardly be a success. On that basis, I am almost always in collision with something or somebody, even though my motives are good. I try to live by self-propulsion. I am like an actor who wants to run the whole show. I am forever trying to arrange the lights, the ballet, the scenery, and the rest of the players in my own way. If my arrangements would only stay put, if only people would do as I wished, the show would be great. Everybody, including myself, would be pleased. Life would be wonderful. In trying to make these arrangements, I may sometimes be quite virtuous. I may be kind, considerate, patient, generous, even modest and self-sacrificing. On the other hand, I may be egotistical, selfish and dishonest. But as with most humans, I am more likely to have varied traits. What usually happens, the show doesn't come off very well. I begin to think life doesn't treat me right. I decide to exert myself more. I become, on the next occasion, still more demanding or gracious as the case may be. Still, the play does not suit me. Admitting I may be somewhat at fault, I am sure that other people are more to blame. I become angry, indignant, self-pitying. What is my basic trouble? Am I not really a self-seeker even when trying to be kind? Am I not a victim of the delusion that I can wrest satisfaction and happiness out of this world if I only manage well? Is it not evident to all the rest of the players that these are the things I want? And do not my actions make each of them wish to retaliate, snatching all they can get out of the show? Am I not, even in my best moments, a producer of confusion rather than harmony? I am self-centred, egocentric, as people like to call it nowadays. I am like the retired businessman who lolls in Florida sunshine in winter, complaining of the sad state of the nation. The minister who sighs over the sins of the 20th century. Politicians and reformers who are sure all would be utopia if the rest of the world would only behave. The outlaw safecracker who thinks society has wronged him. And the alcoholic who has lost all and is locked up. Whatever my protestations, I am not concerned with myself, my resentment. Am I not concerned with myself, my resentments and my self-pity? Selfishness, self-centredness, that, I think, is the root of my troubles. Driven by 100 forms of fear, self-delusion, self-seeking and self-pity, I step on the toes of my fellows and they retaliate. Sometimes they hurt me, seemingly without provocation. But I invariably find that at some point in the past I have made decisions based on self which later placed me in a position to be hurt. So my troubles, I think, are basically of my own making. They arise out of myself, and I am an extreme example of self-will run riot. Though I usually don't think so. Above everything, I, as an alcoholic, must be rid of this selfishness. I must, or it will kill me. God makes that possible, and there often seems no way of entirely getting rid of self without his aid. I had moral and philosophical convictions galore, but I could not live up to them, even though I would have liked to. Neither could I reduce my self-centredness much by wishing or trying on my own power. I have to have God's help. This is the how and the why of it. First of all, I have to quit playing God. It didn't work. Next, I will decide that hereafter, in this drama of life, God is going to be my director. He is the principal, I am his agent. He is the father, and I am his child. Most good ideas are simple, and this concept was the keystone of the new and triumphant arch through which I will pass to freedom. When I sincerely took such a position, all sorts of remarkable things followed. I have a new employer. Being all-powerful, he will provide what I need. If I keep close to him and perform his work well, established on such a footing, I'll become less and less interested in myself, my little plans and designs. More and more, I will become interested in seeing what I can contribute to life. As I feel new power flow in, as I enjoy peace of mind, as I discover I can face life successfully, as I become conscious of His presence, I begin to lose my fear of today, tomorrow, or the hereafter. I will be reborn. I am now at step 3. I said to my Maker, as I understood Him, God, I offer myself to Thee, to build with me, and to do with me as Thou wilt. Relieve me of the bondage of self, that I may better do Thy will. Take away my difficulties, that victory over them may bear witness to those I would help of Thy power, Thy love, and Thy way of life. May I do Thy will always. I thought well before taking this step, making sure I was ready, that I could at last abandon myself utterly to Him. I'll find it very desirable to take this spiritual step with an understanding person, such as my wife, best friend, or spiritual advisor. But it is better to meet God alone than with one who might misunderstand. The wording was, of course, quite optional, so long as I expressed the idea, voicing it without reservation. This was only a beginning, though with honesty and humbly made an effect. Yeah, I really like that. I think it's a really good thought-provoking piece of work, as you'd expect from taken straight from the big book, but it's just got a bit of a twist on it with the first person and asks you to think how it applies to you, and are you ready to make the changes and live on God's terms, really. So I'm going to have a few more reads of it myself, because there is a lot there to absorb and to really process, and we'll talk about it a bit more tomorrow, I think. So I'll see you later.